This is the Horse Radio Network.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1407, brought to you by Corro. Today's tip is an excerpt from the Horses in the Morning monthly Certified Horsemanship Association episode, and it features Christy Landwehr and Glenn, and they're chatting with Shawna Karrasch about how positive reinforcement training works. Yep, we have just a tiny bit of learning science today, and we'll get right to our tip after we hear from our sponsor, Corro. Have you shopped with Corro yet? Corro is the online retailer who is simplifying the way you shop horse care. With horse-friendly supplies and equipment to fuel your passion, they have everything from grooming supplies, barn supplies, to supplements and tack, and everything in between. They truly are the one source for all things horse. All of the products Corro sells and recommends have been tested for quality, so your horse only gets the best, which is exactly how it should be. They offer the best prices available, lightning-fast shipping, and convenient auto ship for those products you purchase regularly. Visit Corro today at Corro Shop, that's CORROSHOP.com, and use the code HRN for 10% off your first order. Do it today.
So our next guest is not one that Horse Radio Network does not know because she has her own channel here, but it's Shawna Karrasch, and we're excited to have her on today because she'll also be on our virtual conference on the 30th. She is a pioneer in the use of positive reinforcement training with horses. Her behavioral training techniques are an eye-opening experience for equine professionals, competitors, and amateurs. She has produced books and videos, podcasts, and traveled worldwide to teach these concepts to both horses and riders.
And she, of course, has a show on the network here called Equine Clicker 101, which is kind of different. It's a unique show in that it is a training podcast where you actually go out to your horse while you're listening, and she has you do things. So I don't know of any other podcast like that in horse world, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
How about if we just jump right in? I don't know if everyone understands necessarily what positive reinforcement does. So how does it make the horse happier and gain confidence?
Well, I think that is, and it seems a little ethereal in a way, because what people tend to think is I'm going to use the positive reinforcement to get X done. You know what I mean? Like I need to get my horse in the trailer. I need to get a better lead change. I need to get, whatever their thing might be that is their challenge, the thing they struggle with. And I'm going to be honest, it is often the gateway, it's the gateway drug to get you into positive reinforcement, because you get started with it and you think, oh, that was great. That really solved that problem. I changed the motivation. But the biggest part, the most important part to me is, and the most significant part, and I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people that really use positive reinforcement that don't even really recognize this, is it actually can change what's going on in the brain. You can change emotional associations. You can change the brain chemistry even related to different tasks and things. So it really starts to have endorphins and dopamines coursing through their system. And you have, because what we found out through neurobiology is that with traditional training, with pressure release, it actually uses a different part of the brain than when we're using positive reinforcement. So what you get is different hormones being produced, which results in different emotions. So with a traditional training, you tend to use the part of the brain that's responsible for fight or flight. With positive reinforcement, you're using a part of the brain that's been referred to as the seeking system. Now, this has all been validated now by neurobiologists and neuroscientists who are really busy studying this. So now what used to be a soft science is now a hard science. But as we understand that, and anecdotally, I've seen this for decades now, is I see that the horses change and they start to be happier. They start to be more involved in the training. They start to be enjoying the problem solving and the puzzle, that they're puzzle solving. And they start to do things like an anxious horse will start to be more curious and be less anxious, and they'll start to play with things in their world, and they're more settled in their social settings versus being the bully, out there. So it really kind of shows up all over the place. And the very first time I did it, with working with John and Beezy Madden back, nearly 27 years ago now, the very first week I worked with them, it was the first time I took the positive reinforcement training from remount to horses. And after a week of working with the horses, I just did basic clicking, teaching them what the bridge signal was. And then that's 3 5-minute sessions a day. Then I did 3 5-minute sessions a day with a target. So this is a total of 15 minutes a day for 6 days. At the end of the week, BZ said every single horse you're working with is remarkably better in the arena. But yet the training had not overlapped. So this was the first point I went, well, that's weird, but yay. So we are starting to see that already showing up, that their emotional responses to traditional training were just better and more engaged. So it's kind of a long answer, but it's kind of a more involved question than so black and white.
Well, that about wraps it up for today. You can find more tips at horsetipdaily.com. Don't forget, if you haven't done so already, to download the free Horse Radio Network app for your iPhone or your Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. You can have all of the Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go. You'll never miss an episode. This is Coach Jen, and I will be back again soon with another tip. Until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.